All right, we're back with another strategy session, I guess we'll call it. This is Italy turn 7. Quick view of this board over here. Yeah, Italy turn 7. As you can see, the axes are a fair bit ahead in the income. Only have 9 cities right now, though. So I guess the biggest thing I'm thinking at this point is like long term, I'm looking good, I think, to win the game. Because of that income differential. Um, I guess in the short term, though, is my problem. So I'm worried about losing based on the cities, because the cities are what wins or loses you the game, and eventually we'll take enough cities to win if we have more income than the Allies do. But in the meantime, they're kind of in position. So these two fleets right here are down here, and there is, what was that, 13 ground units, something like that, loaded on there, plus a lot of planes. So they've got this city back for the UK, and are poised to get this French city. So that would knock us down to 8. And if we get under 8 cities for a sustained period, we will lose the game. So my current biggest problem is making sure that that doesn't happen. So I guess the plan right now, let's start with Italy. So Italy is going to do they're up next. They're going to do their level best to try to help out Japan to not lose this French city, so that we can stay above 8 cities in the meantime, while Germany is pushing forward over here, which could be a slow process. There's a lot of Russian units. Or Italy might get a crack at this city down here, but that also looks like a slow process. So, so we need to be a bit careful. We do have the option of taking this this strict neutral city down here as well. Although I don't love that idea with a giant American and British fleet parked over here. They could just take that back, so, and get all this income. So that's kind of something I'm keeping in my back pocket as an option still, but not looking at right now. So Italy, the plan, I've got the turn order is kind of working in my favor here. So that's why you see a couple of red arrows. And the plan is going to be, because right now we just finished the UK turn, so it'll go Italy, and then Germany, and then Japan. There's no other unit. Well, I guess there's the French units. So it'll go Italy, then France, then Germany, then Japan, in terms of anything that's over on this side of the board. So what the plan is to get this German cruiser right here parked down here in 95 to block that fleet with all its transports from getting to the city. And I'm also going to need to take back UK 19, so that they don't have the naval base. I mean, I could bomb it as well, but so they don't have the naval base to come around and take F-13. So the plan will be so Italy's going to go first. They've got 2 fighters over here. We're going to try to take out this cruiser 2 against 1. And then this French cruiser, see, the problem is going to be that French cruiser could then slip into that spot instead and block my cruiser. Although I do have a battleship over here that could attack that as well, a German battleship, and then slip through on the non-combat move. But I'm going to try first with Italy. So there is an Italian bomber all the way over here in what you might call Hawaii. And so it has the range to pick off that French cruiser and head over to UK-14, which is German. So that's a one-on-one battle. It's a bit iffy, but at least if Italy can take that out, it'll be gone, and that will mean there'll be nothing left to block that German cruiser from running through here. And if that doesn't work out, we've still got the German battleship that if either one of these don't work out, the German battleship could still come in and try to kill whatever's in 84. But so we have good odds of being able to get through there, stalling another turn, and then hopefully hanging on to that city, which we're going to beef up with as much as we can buy, and whatever planes we can get over there. There's a fighter down here, F-21, 2 on the carriers and 3 on Hawaii. So we will send those as well, and possibly try to get more reinforcements. I don't think these ones can make it in one turn. 1, 2, 3. Well, maybe they can. These 2 here in J15, maybe they can. Okay, have to think about that. But anyway, so that's going to be Italy's main goal, is getting rid of those Allied ships so that Germany can put its blocker up. Meanwhile, they are going to have to back off of this. That's just too much Russian stuff. So we're going to back up to PA-12, keep reinforcing, and keep pushing down here. We do have the option of just trying to take UK-28. We still have that. Corporal Clegg didn't take it this turn. He cleared out the units over there, but he didn't take it, opting to go in with just 1 infantry. So if I didn't have aspirations over here with these fighters, I might try to stack that up with everything that I could, so that the UK can never get it back. But I don't think I'm going to have quite enough if I don't have those fighters. So more than likely, we're just going to take this UK-29 territory and just keep reinforcing over here while we deal with some stuff over here. So that's Italy. After that'll be Germany, and they're not too worried about defense on this side right now. I mean, there is a big transport fleet over here, but like I said, we're going to try to take out UK-19, so they won't be able to get over here in one turn to attack Italy. Well, that's another thing Italy's going to have to worry about, is them coming across. But anyway, that's probably going to be 2 turns away, hopefully. So we don't have any major defensive obligations for this turn, but we do have to worry about this fleet, and plus there's 4 more transports up there. But anyway, we have time to deal with that. So the focus is going to be over here. Now, I haven't worked this out yet, but Germany may want to stack everything in R8 to force the Russians back. They can get a lot of stuff in there, including these G8 mechanized infantry and a lot of planes. So that might be an option. At the very least, we're going to take back this pro-Allied territory, and we might go after as much of that upper northern island as we can. We want to get that out of Russian hands. And this will be the last time they can take it, because this is the last transport that Russia has, and it's going to get killed. So once we start taking it, then that'll be that. I don't think Russia's going to build a navy. Now the ANZAC navy might come over and try to take some of it, but I don't know if that'll happen or not. But so long range, maybe we have to watch out for that, but meantime, probably not. So that's going to be Germany. Relatively simple. Just push forward, try to take as much from Russia as we can, and take as much money as we can, and get our sights on this city, or possibly this one. Yeah, so one option would be just to go straight for this one. Alternatively, we can come up to R11 from R8, and then from there we can use our mechanizing units to kind of run through to the other city. So we'll have to see what Russia does, but yeah, we've got a lot of tanks and mechanized infantry that are on the way, that we're over here taking London. So, but they're going to take a little while to get there, a couple of turns to catch up with everything else. So that's Germany. And Japan, lastly, well, we talked a little bit about bolstering this city over here. So yeah, we're going to do that. Definitely need to take back UK-19, which the Germans might actually do with that transport up there, or at least try to save Japanese units. But if they are unsuccessful, then Japan is definitely going to have to take that back. So that'll be priority number 1. And then I'm guessing ANZAC is going to move back away from this. I know they could attack it, but it would be low odds. We'll see. Looks like China has opted to go towards defending both of these cities, so one down here and one up here, rather than kind of come on offense against me over here. So that's good from their perspective. I don't have to worry about losing this city anytime soon, but it means I can't take my transport fleet and then try to run up here and take that. China will have enough time probably to stop that. Alternatively, I could come up to 65 and have a naval base and try to go for a Russian city. But I think we're gonna lean on defense for now. Just try to keep our income up and try to keep the cities that we have, and let Germany and Italy win the game. So I think that's what Japan is going to do. So it'll likely be a lot more infantry, some more naval units. I've got to keep up with what the U.S. is buying. They bought, I think it was like 6 destroyers this turn. So we've got to watch out for that, so that we don't get run over with our navy. But yeah, so basically, don't lose the French city and or Hawaii, and then play defense, keep as much money as we can, and wait for Germany and Italy to do their thing, because Germany is making a ton of money, 92 IPCs per turn. So, and they have better production than Russia does. These are just 2 minor facilities up in the north. I've got a major facility there, a minor one right there, and another major one right here. So we're going to just outproduce Russia sooner or later here. So, but the question is, are we going to lose the game on cities in the meantime? So that's the priority. Yeah, so I think that covers it. Try not to lose too many cities, keep the income up, and don't do anything dumb. And hopefully we're going to be in a good position. So anyway, I think that's it for this one. I will talk to you later.
It is round 8. It is just before the USA turn, and it is crunch time. Germany making wind here, storming into the Russian territory. They finally pushed in, along with all their air force. This is what we're looking at now. This is the standoff. The Russians did retreat back, probably a wise move. The Germans are coming in their numbers, though. They have a lot of tanks and mech coming in, having been successful in the UK. And what is this? 1, 2, 3. Give that 3 rounds, maybe even 2 at the earliest, probably 3. And it looks like we could lose this city here as the Soviets. So we have 3 rounds to prepare for a huge battle there. Down here as well, the UK is struggling against the Italians. We have maybe 2 rounds to prepare for that. Will we be able to survive? Probably not. So we'll see what happens there. China's still doing well. We've got both those cities, so that's good. And Japan moving again now back towards the US. This is the last time. I'm going to try and hold on to that. I think essentially what we have happening here is these 2 flags are the flags which represent how many cities each side has, this being the Allies and this being the Axis. We need 14, and we need to hold 14 for a whole round, and we win. Can we do that in 2 rounds? We'll see. I think in the long run, the Axis definitely have this game. It'll definitely be a win, but if we can snatch a win here with the victory cities, that would be amazing. However, the plan was that the US was going to make an assault here in F-13. Germany ruined that by moving this cruiser down and retaking UK-19, setting back the Allies a whole game round for that plan, and possibly costing us, or, well, not costing us the war. What little chance we had left of perhaps winning may have just been taken away by this move. So good move to Contango for that, and poor show for me for not spotting that it was a possibility. What I should have done is blocked this sea zone with my UK fleet. Instead, I just moved it all in together. Could I have done that? Yes, it looks like it. I think my fleet was in here. I should have moved it to here, prevent him from blocking me. But hey, it is what it is. So the plan is now we're going to retake this city. That'll bump us up to 13 cities. The turn after that, we'll either make an attack in here. Japan, unfortunately, has another whole round to build up in there. And it's got quite a lot of stuff, as you can see. What we could do is we could snatch this city as well. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to bring all of this stuff down now to 58. That will threaten London, possibly giving us something to aim for as well. Could we snatch that city back? Again, probably not, but at the very least, it will force Germany to waste money building stuff here. Maybe even bringing some of these tanks back, etc., etc. Unless he bombs this naval base again. But I'm going to have to repair that damage as the UK on my turn. And this will be a nice spot. We've got 4 transports up there. We're going to fly our bombers down as well. We can hit all sorts of things from there, providing we have the naval base up and running. Fingers crossed on that. The UK is holding on as best we can in North India. I'm surprised we haven't lost it sooner. But as I say, 2 rounds probably to hold out for until the big battle, the big onslaught comes. One thing I might do, or might be able to do, is build a destroyer into, let's say, this sea zone, and that will prevent him from being able to load any units on those transports. So that's a little trick up my sleeve. I wonder if Contango is aware of that. At least I believe that's how the rule works. You cannot load troops in a hostile sea zone. So that's giving me a bit of hope. Perhaps I can pull that off against Contango. Would be beautiful. Over here, I ended up moving my fleet into 109. Well, it was a battleship, a cruiser, and a aircraft carrier, I think. And this was really only a move to force him to bring stuff down here instead of reinforcing up there. Was it worth it? I don't know. I couldn't have left them here anyway because he built a ton of subs and it would have got destroyed anyway. Should I have moved it in? I really don't know. Don't know what I should have done with that fleet, to be fair. But he took it all out at the cost of just damaging his aircraft carrier. So not the best result there. Not really sure what Contango has planned with all of this stuff. He's kind of going back and forth in here. It looks like he's now going to commit and go into the US, which is fine. As I've said, I'm not going to be trying to reinforce that anymore. I give this game another 2 rounds at the most, I'd say, before we sort of can see who's going to win this. And I think if we can't get that city, get that last minute win, then it's going to be all over. So I might as well bring these tanks and mech back to the other side. They can perhaps come down and help defend this city, which is, I think, a possible target for the Japanese to go after. Seems like the most logical target. However, his transports, I keep thinking they're going to go up and start, well, go to here, for example, and then go up and take that not Canada territory. But they seem to just sort of linger over here a bit. So I'm not sure what Contango's plans are there. But it's fine by me. He keeps those transports here. It means that I can relax a little bit more over here. So that's fine. I think that's pretty much it. Such a shame about this. Because this turn I would be capturing 2 cities. It would bring us up to 14, which would potentially cause us to win unless the Axis could claim a city back. Such a shame, but it is what it is. I think that's all that I have to say at this point on the progress of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and get the turn recorded. Let's see what happens.
All right, we're back with another strategy session. Usually I do these before Italy's turn, but just because of timing, I wasn't able to last time. So right now we are at Germany turn 9, I guess it is. Just finished turn 8, and I just realized I didn't update that on my board, so it still says 8, but we're just starting turn 9. As you can see, Axis have 9 cities and a significant lead in income over the Allies. So that's where we're at right now. So yeah, we're just before the German turn. Like I said, I usually do these before Italy, but wasn't able to. So let's talk about Italy for a second, because we just got done Italy not that long ago. So Italy right now, I would say, has kind of 2 priorities. One is to try to push for this city down here, UK, what is it, 27, I guess. So I don't know how soon I'll be able to do that. It looked like I was going to be able to hold this I made this factory here. It looked like I was going to be able to hold this territory because Corporal Clegg, last turn, he just came in with 1 infantry and lost it. My infantry got hit, so he didn't take the territory. So was able to build a factory there, and I think I'll be able to hold it with the Japanese moving in there on their turn. And then I've got this other factory up here, so we'll see how long it takes before I can outproduce the UK, but I don't know when that'll be. So that's kind of one thing that Italy is working on right now. Also up here, we can't go too far forward with the Italians at the moment because I took all my mechanized units back to try to help defend this. I wanted to make sure that, well, I guess this is Italy's priority now, is this kind of southern area for Italy and Germany. So I got the major factory there, and yeah, so I didn't leave too much in I-5. The U.S. might be able to take that. They're not going to be able to take I-1 with the city because I'm going to build a German destroyer in 71 right here. So that'll block that, but at least for this turn. They could go for it next turn, but by then I'll have, I think, enough units produced to defend. So yeah, Italy's job is making sure that we don't lose this city, and that the Americans and also the Russians, which I'll talk about in a minute, don't try to take this German city up here, which you might be thinking that's way far away from the U.S. and Russia. Why would I be worried about that? Well, if the U.S. comes in here and starts giving me problems that I need to defend the Italian city, that's going to take away from defending this. And Russia actually isn't as far away from that as you might think. In R23, they've got a stack there. They can head into this IN-8 territory and then G16 and then head there. And there are 13 tanks and 2 mechanized infantry, plus others that could join as well, that could switch over and head that way real fast. So I need to be cognizant of that as Italy and Germany. So that's one thing I'm worried about. I suspect these Russian tanks and mechs are heading north, though. So let's talk about Germany. Germany is, they're in good shape, making good money, and having, well, they're pushing forward against Russia here as much as they can. We'll be able to take R11 this turn, I believe, and be safe. But then these mechanized units are going to join up, and once they do, Russia is going to have something like 41 tanks plus, what is it, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 aircraft. So that's a lot of mobile units, and Germany is going to then get stagnated up here, and it's going to be a while before we can probably get one of these cities. I might be able to do a run by, but there's just so many mechanized units that's going to be difficult for me to split up. So I don't suspect I'm going to get very far up here. Not in the near future. Eventually I will. I've got more. I've got double the income of Russia, and I've got more production. So I'll eventually win that, but it could be a long time. Meanwhile, Germany is worried about what you might call London because of this U.S. fleet right here, 4 transports. So we're going to go defend that, take everything from this UK territory plus France, head over, build some units, even probably bring in this fighter that you can see is scheduled to go up there. So we're going to need to defend that, not lose that city. The biggest headache for the Axis right now, like I'm ahead on income, but we're close to our limit on cities that we can lose, because we've got 9 right now, and if we get down to 7, then we lose the game. If we are down to 7 for a full turn, so we need to be careful that we don't lose 2 cities for a full turn. So we don't want to lose that for sure. We lost this one down here, at least for the time being. And then you can see the U.S. is coming towards this French city down here. So for Germany, just to go back to Germany, we're going to take that northern island. We're going to press forward into Russia as far as we can, but we're probably going to get stalled out. And so we need to get as far as we can there. Keep an eye on this city so we don't lose it, and make sure that we don't lose, well, the UK city and the French city up here. So that's kind of what Germany is up to while we're biding our time, letting our income rack up. And like I said, Italy needs to hold their city and go for this one. And we've always got this one in our back pocket if we need to. I mean, right now I only have 1 transport in range, but these ones can come back in a hurry and get that in 2 turns. So of course that's going to start up the strict neutrals, so we don't really want to go for that, but we will if we have to. Let's talk about Japan then. So this city down here is going to be fine for this next turn. We're going to be able to build 3 units there, and we've got a number of planes here that can also join in. So that should be fine for this turn. It'll be the next turn when these ground units join in. That'll be the time. I should have enough there to have odds in that battle if they really decide, if the U.S. decides to go for that. I calculated out at one point, I can't remember, but I feel like it was 10 or 15% chance that they would win. So I don't know, they might go for it, but we'll have to see. Like, the biggest thing that we're watching here is where these guys go. So the other things we have to watch out for is that our fleet doesn't just get destroyed, and that we don't lose this city here, because at some point, well, we've got some planes over here that can go and help protect that. We'll be fine this turn, but eventually, well, 2 turns, we're going to need all the air power to be in that French city. So our fleet is going to be sitting kind of naked over here. So we're going to need to make sure we use blockers from this US and UK fleet. So that's where they're sitting. That's what actually is in the US and UK fleet, plus these units up here. And there's a lot of bombers floating around now. There's 3 here, and there's 3 down here. So we've got to be careful that we don't accidentally lose this fleet. And the other thing I'm thinking about is what to do with these transports. One option was to come up here and kill all that Chinese stuff, but that's going to take all my transports. I'm going to have to use that carrier to probably protect the transports, so that carrier wouldn't be coming over here with the fleet. Also, I'd probably need some planes, and then the planes aren't coming over here with the fleet, so that's probably not going to happen. Going after these Chinese, I mean. The other option was to pick up some units and then head over here to F-22 and C-Zone 94 and drop them. If things do get really hairy over here, what I'll do is I'll back off into F-12 and at least force the Allies to fight over that city. They'll probably have enough with all their planes to take it, but the problem for them will be if I back off, they can take it for sure, but will they be able to hold it? And if I've got reinforcements coming, the answer is probably no. So that would help save that city if I do come over here with these transports. But then I'm looking at defending 3 different spots: C-Zone 94 and C-Zone 80 and that city. So we'll see what Japanese can do, but I've also got to watch out for, even if I block things, the U.S. air power can fly over top of my blockers and hit things. So I've got to split things wisely and not lose them. And then the other problem is the UK fleet is also sitting there, and the French, well, at least the cruiser. So if the US can damage a lot of my stuff, and then the UK can roll through afterwards. I mean, they don't have a lot. They have a destroyer and a battleship, and there's a bomber down here as well. So, and they also have a transport, so they could use that transport to take the, if you want to call it Hawaii, that island. So, yeah, so Japan has the most problems right now, with the US and the UK sitting right here. They're kind of holding tight. Like I said, Germany doesn't have anything it can do in the near future to get another city. Russia's probably going to have too much for the next while. And there is an option for Germany to try to come over here and take that ANZAC city, but we'll see. That would take at least 2 turns to do, and I've only got 3 transports, and so it also doesn't look that likely, but it's something I'm keeping in my back pocket. Anyway, so I won't keep you. That's probably a good summary for right now. Again, we're at the start of turn 9 with Germany, and so we'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks. All right, we are back. It is now Italy turn 9, and so this is going to be the final segment of the strategy session videos. I don't know what I'm calling these, but probably we'll stitch them all together. And well, if you're watching this, it means you probably already looked through about an hour of these. So anyway, so this is where we're at. Italy turn 7. Corporal Clegg and Piloto have said that they're going to essentially resign, but we do want to kind of finish out a couple of things. Corporal Clegg did a big battle down here that he otherwise probably wouldn't have, but just for fun to see if he could take that city with a low percentage. And then there's going to be a couple of other battles we're going to do as well, not the least of which is going to be this UK 27. So yeah, I wanted to do this video before the Italy turn because we're essentially getting a little fast and loose now, and I wanted to kind of do the video while the board was still in the shape that it was. So yeah, I guess there's not really a lot to talk about in terms of what Italy is going to do and in the future. Maybe let's talk first about kind of how I thought the game would continue if it was going to continue, and Corporal Clegg didn't just sacrifice his entire ground army and air force down here, and also he landed up here, which Germany should be able to take back. If we weren't going to do a big battle with Russia, this would be pretty easy to take back. But yeah, so as you can kind of see from the income board, I didn't update this for the US, China, and UK the most recent turn, but there's pretty big income differential now between the Axis and the Allies. Axis are ahead, and they've got the more centralized production, so it's kind of only a matter of time before they take over. So the Allies really needed to do something in the short term to try to win the game, either to get the income back or take the win with cities. So they needed to get, I think, 3 cities. They got the one here, failed to get this one, and then would have needed to get something else and not lose another one in the meantime, which Germany would have been able to take this city, at least temporarily, up here. So it's unclear whether the Allies would have been able to win that way. But yeah, so there wasn't a ton of great options. Italy has a major factory here now, so they're pretty much going to be able to defend that indefinitely and probably help Germany defend this if necessary. Japan is only able to produce 3 units over here, but they'd probably last for quite a while before losing that. And in the meantime, Germany is running amok in Russia. So yeah, there wasn't a ton of great paths for the Allies going forward. So probably eventually the Axis would have taken the game. Um, so I guess let's talk a bit more about the past, and I'm trying to struggle to remember exactly what did happen in the game. Um, so forgive me if I get some things wrong, but um, so let's, I guess, talk about maybe what the Allies could have done a bit differently from my perspective. I thought I played generally pretty good. The only mis- mistake I would say I made, major mistake I made that I remember at the moment is, I think it was on the first or second turn down here. I left, I think it was on Germany's first turn in PA9. I left a lot of units kind of vulnerable there that the UK just came and took out with enough time to get back up to London. So that was maybe something I could have done a bit better. I don't remember any other major errors, so I don't know what to say in terms of what I might have done differently. Um, in terms of the Allies, um, one thing I would have maybe liked to see is a bit more aggression from Russia. At least that's what I was afraid of playing Germany. So I've laid out a few dice here. I didn't kind of mention them at the beginning, but of items I wanted to talk about. So this kind of general area where this number one is, I thought that Russia could have gotten further forward here with probably enough units to sit in maybe this territory in R8 and possibly threaten this city, at least be taking this pro-allied and maybe running through there into some of these territories, maybe even coming as far as F5 um, and taking that factory away from the Germans. I thought they had the units to do it. Russia didn't build a major factory until much later, but they did build a lot of tanks, 41 I think what's on the board. So if with maybe some less tanks, more mechanized infantry instead, they would have had some extra money. Maybe could have got a major factory up here earlier. But anyways, what I really wanted to talk about was that I thought Russia could have been a bit more aggressive with Germany focusing down London. It takes almost everything that Germany can bring to do that. Russia was able to take this northern island, so that's good. And I thought they could have maybe done a bit more here. So that was one thing that I was kind of thinking through as the Axis. The Allies were something that would have worried me as the Axis. Another possibility, the Allies chose to stand and fight in London, and I had pretty good odds there, as I recall. Another option would have been to abandon London and back off and come here to where this die is in UK3. And of course, then you give away the factory easily. But what it would have done is the U.S. ground units could have moved down into this area, maybe been threatening this a lot earlier before Japan had time to produce a lot, and Japan had their planes elsewhere. So it would have afforded the U.S. the opportunity to do some other things instead of letting all their Air Force and ground units die up here, which of course cost Germany a lot. But so the U.S. could have abandoned London and gone wherever they wanted to go, and the UK could have backed up here to UK3, which of course is a difficult decision because then there's going to be even less units for Germany to kill. But what it would do is force Germany to come all the way over here with their main army, and they would have then been that much further away from Russia. So in this game, I had the opportunity to take London. That went pretty well, and then I was able to move my tanks and mechanized infantry back over here. So that's the tanks and mechanized infantry, or at least a lot of them, that were taking London. So that was another option. I'm not saying it's the best option. Maybe staying in London and taking out as much of the German forces as possible was the best thing to do, but it was something I was thinking about. I don't know if the guys were or not, but another option, just with the setup that was happening here, I think Russia was parked here in R23, and as you can see, they had a sizable army of tanks and mechanized infantry, and I thought in Air Force too. So I thought it might have been possible to do kind of a run by here and go through IN8 and G16 and try to take this city. And I was keeping my eye on that. I didn't have any defense here, obviously. I was thinking about if I would have enough time to kind of run the Italians back around before the Russians would get there, because they would have to go territory by territory. They would have been able to blitz through if I put a blocker. So I was keeping my eye on it, but that was a pretty big danger, although it's something that a lot of people don't think of. But yeah, you can kind of do a run by and go take this city unexpectedly. And I thought that could be combined with also the U.S. coming in this direction. If the U.S. was going to do that at the same time as Russia was going to do its run by, that would have been really difficult to do for Germany and Italy to deal with, both at the same time. So something else I was thinking about for the Allies and keeping my eye on. What else? I was also thinking about the Chinese down here, and so Corporal Clegg did. He put enough infantry. What is this here? 29 infantry, 30 infantry, which is obviously enough to hold that city. So I mean, the good news is that's holding that city from me getting it. But I thought there was some opportunity to maybe be a bit more aggressive too, and even start pressuring this city, which would, pull me away from ANZAC, pull me away from the U.S., and also make me think about, do I want my transports over this way, and do I want to keep Air Force over here? So being in a more aggressive position may have made me position my Air Force more poorly, in that I would not have been able to save this city. So while you're keeping that city, you're also making my life easy by not putting that much pressure on Japan. So I was pretty much able to keep this everything over here, and I think there was once or twice where China did step forward, but it was not really in force enough that I was able to counterattack and take out a lot of units for cheap. So just something else I was thinking. Yeah, so that's my main thoughts. I don't want to take too long on this. So it was a good game, and thanks very much to Corporal Clegg and Piloto for playing and taking all the time. We're a couple of months into this now, so they've had their board set up for a long time, and could have been doing other things, but I appreciate it because I put a lot of time into making this map, and it's been a lot of fun for me to play the game that I made with some other people, and had a lot of fun. So much appreciated, and stay in touch, and thanks for the game. And to anybody else who's watching this and has got this far, thanks for watching. Hope that you enjoyed it. Hope that you maybe learned something, and maybe it piqued your interest in this map. If you do want to get this map, let me know. I give it away for free. Well, I give away the map file for free. You got to print it yourself. But yeah, so I think I'll leave it there. I didn't have any other major strategy things to talk about. This video will probably come out after, but there's going to be another video or two. The Italians are going to go after this city, and the Germans are going to go after the Russians up here, just for funsies. So you may already know how that went, but I don't. So anyway, thanks again, and I will talk to you later.